Hi friends, did you miss me? I have been so busy, so I'm really sorry, but I'm going to take you into the kitchen today to quickly talk about where I've been at because I haven't showed you the garden for a bit. I have been posting what I can in the stories, but look at this. This is why. Can you see this? I'll move back so you can see the bench. This is why. The garden has been amazing this year. That's not always been the case. Last year wasn't the case. But this year I managed to do some things right, and I think timing more than anything. But I have been trying to just keep up with February watering and harvesting and processing, and March has been pretty much the same. Not so much watering because we're getting the cooler weather now. We still have some warm days, but we're not getting any hot days now. We've just transitioned into, you can get up to the high 20s, but that's about it. So nice weather still, a lot of days, but bucketing rain some days too. So it's getting really tricky to film outside with the weather being so erratic and just in my schedule. So at the moment I'm in the throes of doing a whole lot of things outside the vegetable garden, but the vegetable garden is demanding that it be picked still and attended to. So I hardly touched anything over February as far as gardening goes. Like I said, I was just watering, harvesting, but it's getting to the stage now I have to cut back some plants, pull out some plants, well, not pull them out, but cut them out, and compost them and start planting some things. Now I am behind in my seeds a little, planting my winter seedlings, but there's still time, so I really do need to get to that ASAP. But I am still doing this. I'm still dealing with all this. Now, what I have had happen is a bit of a situation with the tomatoes this year for the very first time. So my tomatoes did well. Most people have had issues with tomatoes this year, but I think I did better because I planted earlier. I watched the volunteers in my garden and kind of went by those cues, even though it looked like it was too cold. So I planted earlier, protected plants, and I got a lot of tomatoes growing. So I have been making all sorts of things. I've been making sauces, and I've been just canning. I've been using my pressure cooker mostly. I've been pickling lots of cucumbers, and I've got another batch I've got to do. The eggplants are coming out thick and fast. We're having to do the eggplants as well. And now I have cucuzzas that or the bottle gourds that are growing as well. And right behind them, or in front of them and behind them, is the Tromboncinos, which are even bigger than this. So I'm letting most of those go to maturity so that I can harvest them and have them stored. And the green ones I'm cutting, and the ones that are a little bit rogue and growing through wire and getting themselves tangled, I'm cutting and we're eating those. But I tried the cucuzza for the first time tonight and it was absolutely delicious. I still haven't put my dinner away, or the leftovers from my dinner. So I fried it up on the stove. You can see my pan still on the stove, and I fried it in some coconut oil, some butter, some Tuscan spice mix, a little bit of garlic, and a touch of tamari, and it was absolutely beautiful. And in mine I put some onions. In my husband I whipped some out for him to try before the onion went in, and yeah, so I had that with some beans for dinner, and it was delicious. So back to the tomatoes. I've lots of different varieties of tomatoes, all different colours, shapes and sizes. Some did better than others. But what we have now is Queensland fruit fly. For the very first time this year, I've got the fruit fly. And I'm very concerned about other Melbourne growers that are only just getting tomatoes now. Their tomatoes are only just blushing or turning red now because the fruit fly is here, and there's not anywhere, I don't think, in Victoria that the fruit fly, the Queensland fruit fly hasn't ventured to now. So I watch your tomatoes. If you're in Melbourne, watch your tomatoes very closely if you're bringing them out of the garden. And what I'm going to do is I have to process this. I'll probably cook most of it up, either green, if it's already ripe, and I'll have to check every single one of them to make sure there's no grubs in it. And I'll process the rest green, I think, because I'm not even going to let it happen that they, we have some issues. So yes, I'll be checking those and processing them and moving all these tomatoes into jars and mostly sauces, I think. We've got a lot of pickles now. So I've done a lot of pickles with the tomatoes and a lot of pickles with the cucumbers. I've done a little bit with immature cantaloupes, which taste like cucumbers. And yeah, we've got a lot of pickles, so I don't need too many pickles. I'm also picking my first cantaloupe, and I'm very proud of my cantaloupes because the round ones are actually the small ones, and look how big they are. There's massive ones growing on the vines that are about 3 times. They're really long and they're growing, so it looks like we're going to be eating a lot of cantaloupe. So if you've got any suggestions for what to do with some cantaloupe other than just fresh, I'm all ears, because I know you can dehydrate it, but if you've got any recipes for that, or if you've got any other ways to preserve the cantaloupe in any way, I'm interested, because I've got a feeling I'm going to have a lot of cantaloupe. So I will be taking you into the garden and showing you what's here, because it's really needing a makeover now. So all the tomatoes that are finished, I need to take out and clear a lot of space, and I'm going to be picking all the ripe tomatoes that have dropped, fallen down. I haven't been able to reach them, or I've missed them, and I'm going to be cleaning them out of the bed just in case we've got fruit fly in them too. I'll be bundling them all up, and I will cook them, or I will put them in the freezer, and then they can go in the compost. So there you go. That's what I've been up to. Lots and lots of busyness in the kitchen. In fact, I feel like I'm never leaving the kitchen. And at the same time, I'm trying to declutter, because I'm giving my art studio a makeover, which I'm very excited about, because I've waited for years for a floor for that art studio. Finally putting a flooring down. And I've been painting, of course. Painting and family and all the things that life demands as well. So that's where I've been, that's what I've been up to, and that's why you haven't seen much of me. So when the season starts to slow down, the plants start to tire. The tomatoes have been giving us so many tomatoes, the plants were getting tired and finishing up, and that's when the bugs move in, and the bugs know. And so I have had new bugs this year, but these sucking bugs. They are, I think, stink bugs. So little beetles popping up everywhere that I was squishing with my fingers. So I didn't really use any sprays. I just did it with my fingers, and I still had some issues, but I really didn't get to the garden. I would have probably done some soapy water had I had time. And the eggplants here got hit with mites, I think. It's either whitefly or mites. I've seen a lot of whitefly over the past few months, and I've got the yellow sticky tape for it, and I still haven't put it out. But yeah, so we just soldiered on. I still had plenty of food coming out of the garden regardless, and but nature really got to be nature over the past couple of months, or several months really. I've just let the garden do its thing and see what happens. But in here is where I wanted to show you the Tromboncinos. Now they are growing on the inside. Well, the root of this one plant is on the inside of that wire cage, and I poked it through so to grow on the opposite side. Now you can see it has come right around the corner. It's actually taken up the whole side wall. I've tried to encourage it over these archways, and they have actually grown on them, but they're also growing inside those beds, on the roof, around the side, and there's like stacks of them. So I've been absolutely thrilled with this plant. Like, I don't know how many kilos is going to come off it, but I am going to document it, so we will find out later how many kilos come off it. But I can see already about 15 or more large Tromboncinos, which probably weigh about 2.5, 3 kilos each for a start, and lots of babies that are growing, and those babies don't stay babies long either. They grow like zucchinis. They grow very fast, and then they kind of slow down to the end. But you can see them in the grass there. They are about 1 metre tall and leaning, like they're touching the ground now. They're just sitting on the ground like pumpkins, but they are actually growing on that archway. And on the other side is the bottle gourd, or the cucuzza, and that is what I showed you earlier that I cooked tonight for dinner for the very first time, and that's this vine here. But this is I think there's 2 vines there, and I've got them growing in grow bags as well, and they are taking off now. They were very slow to take off. The Tromboncino was way ahead of it, and they struggled at start, but the Tromboncinos just took off. And I am getting powdery mildew on all of the squash plants now, but they're kind of, this plant here is particularly robust, and it's not seemed to have bothering it, whereas in the other garden that I showed you right at the start of the video, the button squash, which is a real bed hog, it takes up a lot of room, but it threw out little squashes and didn't do a lot for the space it took up before it got the mildew, and then it really succumbed to it. But the Tromboncino was so funny to watch grow, because the baby fruit would start growing, and they grew so fast it was hard to stay on top of them. So they would poke through the wire at times, or curl through the wires. So some of them are really curly. And you can see here this one's stuck, and it would grow through and keep growing even though it was being strangled by the wire. It wasn't actually breaking the wire, but it would just get stuck there, but it would still keep growing into a big Tromboncino, which is what I showed you earlier on the bench, the curly bit. I had to cut them at the wire to take them off, and so you can eat these green like you're seeing here, this colour, and then they start to get yellower like this one, and then they turn the orange colour just like butternut squash. So they behave the same, they're just a bit longer, and you can cut them just like the butternut squash as a pumpkin when it fully matures and the vine dies back, and they will store for about 12 months. So that's my intention with as many as I can to store them, and hopefully the reputation precedes them that they are sweet when they are very orange. So I'm trying to get them to that stage, and it looks like the vine will get there, even though we are due to get the cold weather followed by frosts. But I'll show you a couple other things before we go, and I have a question for you. You might be able to answer this one. Hopefully you can answer this one, but just check out how tiny weeny these guys start out. They're so small to grow so big, and just thinking this started with one seed. Isn't nature amazing? show you the sunflowers, an update on the sunflowers. I cut the heads off, the big heads, and look, it grew multiple heads all down the stem. So on that one it ended up 7, and I cut them flowering. So 7 flowering sunflowers, be it small, that they still grew. Now my question, I'll show you a picture in a minute. I have got a cucumber looking plant growing right near my cucumbers, but I haven't seen it develop any fruit. I'm wondering, are there weeds that mimic the look that entwine themselves in cucumber plants? So that's one for the experts. If you know the answer, please put it in the comments, because I don't know what to do with it, to be honest. So lastly, I'll just show the butternut squash because it's in different stages so you can see them. So those orange ones are very mature. We could cut them and eat them now, but I'm waiting for the vine to die so we can have them really sweet. And you can see, just like the Tromboncino, it looks the same, doesn't it? So you can eat green pumpkins. So if you're panicking that your pumpkins aren't ready, you can eat your pumpkins green. They're not going to hurt your tummy, and you can still enjoy what you've got on your vines if they didn't quite make it. So what I did with mine is I had a pollination issue as well, and there's a lot of people reporting that they only had male flowers on their plant. What I do is I let it grow to about 2 meters, and then I nip the ends of the plant off, and that throws out side laterals or more female flowers. I find that has been my experience this year. So if you've watched this to the end, you are an absolute champion. I appreciate you, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.